Ever wonder why most people never achieve true wealth? It's because they're perpetually fixated on fear, not desire. The most mind-blowing truth? You could dramatically shift your financial reality in a week. Not because money will magically appear, but because your mindset will finally click, transforming everything in an instant. Ready to see what's been staring you in the face all along? Have you noticed how most people live with a pre-programmed mental image, not one they consciously chose? An image shaped by circumstance, others' opinions, negative experiences that become unshakable truths, without them even realizing it. They think they're rational, when really, they are repeating hidden patterns that imprison their lives, financially, emotionally, and spiritually. When I finally grasped this, it was like a veil lifted. Real change doesn't come from knowledge alone, but from altering that inner picture. That's why so many people, despite all the books, courses, and seminars, see zero results. They're trying to fix a crumbling building by painting the walls, neglecting the rotten foundation. Your self-image, the picture you hold of yourself, is the blueprint of your existence. Your current life is a direct reflection of this invisible plan. Want to change your reality? Look inward. What image do you see in the mirror of your solitude? Is it a winner, or someone perpetually lacking? Someone who attracts opportunity, or who constantly struggles without success? For years, I carried the image of a failure, not by choice, but imposed by a dropped-out education, dead-end jobs, limitations presented as realistic. I bought into it, hook, line, and sinker, until a man gave me a life-changing book, Think and Grow Rich. It opened my mind to the possibility of creating a new image. But it wasn't just visualization, it was deciding, committing, living as if it were already true. Do you do that? Or do you wait for external proof before believing? Most people are extras in their own movie, watching the protagonists as if they were aliens. Have you ever looked in the mirror and been truly amazed? Seeing in yourself what you admire in others? When I decided to change, I wrote down every detail, literally. The type of shoes, the haircut, the way I walked. I even mimicked the walk of a man in my neighborhood, serene and unflappable, the epitome of control. And I decided to be that. The problem for most? They try to achieve the new with the old image. Imagine, someone wants more money, works harder, studies harder, pushes themselves harder, yet internally sees themselves as limited, insecure, mediocre. The result? They sabotage everything, shy away from opportunities, overspend, and settle for scraps. Reality obeys the inner image, not external effort. This isn't mysticism, science shows the mind operates through images. The brain activates the same neural pathways when vividly imagining something as when experiencing it. Olympic athletes use visualization, mentally running the race, feeling the wind, the sounds, the emotion. Their bodies believe they've lived the experience. Why not do this with your finances, relationships, health? What stops you from describing who you want to be, feeling it as if it were already real? Maybe you'll say, what if I'm fooling myself? I ask, what if you continue self-sabotaging out of fear of dreaming big? How much time have you wasted fearing ridicule? Your mental image is the master control, the thermostat of your life. Whether it's hot or cold outside, the system adjusts to the programmed number. Your mind daily adjusts your life according to a number you don't even remember setting. It's time to change the channel, ditch the world's TV, grab a pen, and write a new script, your script. What you want to earn, where you want to live, how you want to dress, what you want to hear when checking your bank account, who you want to be with. Describe it, feel it, live it. If someone laughs, great. It means you've escaped the script of mediocrity. I did it, and so can you. Your self-image is the first million you need to conquer. That conquest begins today, if you decide it has already arrived. Most people quit before seeing results. They plant a seed and dig it up 2 days later to see if it's grown, and if they see nothing, they say, see? It doesn't work. But it's not that it doesn't work, it's that they lack the persistence to let the process unfold. They want the fruit without allowing time for the roots to grow. Persistence is an invisible law of great results. Contrary to popular belief, persistence isn't about relentlessly banging on closed doors. It's about keeping the image of what you desire alive, even when everything points to the contrary, maintaining faith in the image even with scarcity. You can study, affirm, believe for a while, but if you don't hold that image firm during difficult times, you'll return to square one. I've seen this countless times. People who started with tons of enthusiasm, envisioned what they wanted, got excited about their new life, but on the third or fourth day of silence, the fifth day without external signs, gave up. They expected proof before persistence, not the other way around. The truth? You need to persist before you see any proof. Persist when the bills arrive, when no one supports you, when you wake up tired, doubtful, and that inner voice says, maybe this isn't for me. If you give up at those moments, it's not a problem of method, but of decision. I learned this when I started my first cleaning business. I knew nothing about business, but I had such a clear image in my mind that nothing else mattered. Past failures, lack of education, people saying, "Bob, do you really think you'll make money cleaning offices?" In my first year, I made over $100,000. Why? Because I didn't abandon the mental image. Even when the phone didn't ring. Even when my bank account seemed to be at zero. How many times have you given up because you didn't see immediate results? How many ideas have you buried because the world didn't reflect what you felt inside? This happens because people live by the law of the senses, not the law of the inner image. If they can't touch, hear, or see it, they give up. But physical reality is the last part of the process. Before that, everything happens in silence. Energy organizes itself, opportunities arise, people are drawn in, but none of this emerges externally if there's no internal focus. Persistence isn't glamorous, it doesn't generate applause, but it separates those who dream from those who transform their lives. Remember Thomas Edison? 1,000 attempts for the light bulb. And when asked how he felt after 1,000 failures, he replied, "I didn't fail 1,000 times. I discovered 1,000 ways that don't work." That's persistence. And it can be developed like a muscle. Every day you maintain the image, even without visible results, you train that muscle. Every day you insist, when your mind wants to give up, you get stronger. A University College London study showed that the brain takes, on average, 66 days to create a solid habit. If most people give up on the 7th, 10th, 20th day, they never get past halfway. Victory was near, but it slipped away because they weren't there to receive it. You can't let that happen. Decide to persist until the new reality is inevitable. It's not about enduring, it's about keeping the image clear and the feeling vibrant, as if it were already yours. Ask yourself every day, if I already had what I want, how would I act today? And act that way, speak that way, walk that way, respond to problems that way. When it seems nothing changes, remember, the universe tests your faith. The weak retreat, the persistent reap what others only dream of. Will you go the distance, or let another idea die for lack of faith? Persistence is the key, but the secret is simple: hold the image until the end. It's more real than any obstacle. The big change in my life came when I understood that the secret wasn't to work toward the goal, but from it. It seems simple, counterintuitive to those accustomed to the grind it out mentality, but that's where the mistake lies. People strive to reach a distant destination, in the future, conditioned to something. The more distant, the more trapped they feel in the present. By operating from the destination, everything changes. You don't chase success, you act as if you already possess it. I remember a conversation with a young man who wanted to change his life. "Bob, I'm trying, I wake up early, I study, I do everything right, but nothing's happening." I asked, "Are you acting like someone who wants to arrive, or like someone who's already arrived?" He was silent. Like many, he lived in effort, not in internal truth. Most people say they believe, but live as if they need convincing. They say they want financial freedom, but make decisions as if they are trapped. They talk about confidence, but shrink from opportunities. It's like living two identities. The key is to think from the final result. Don't ask, "How do I get there?" but "How would someone like me behave in this situation?" It's living from the end. There's no real manifestation without this. It's the assumption of the desired state. You assume the desire is internal reality, and the external world reorganizes itself. This isn't pretending, it's reprogramming. Act, decide, and feel as if you've already arrived, even if your eyes say otherwise. You don't live by what you see, but by what you know. Neuroscience research shows the brain doesn't differentiate between a real and an intensely imagined experience. By repeating an image with sufficient emotion, neurons fire as if it were happening. Your body changes, your energy changes, your frequency changes, and this alters the results. A practical example: you want to earn more money. Most people think, when I earn more, I'll dress better, walk with more posture, stop accepting anything. The logic is inverted. Start today to dress with more dignity, walk with more confidence, refuse what doesn't align with your vision, because that's what your prosperous self would do. If you don't do it now, you'll never do it. The habits of your old self will always win. The old pattern will say it's exaggerated, unrealistic, too much for too little result. The result comes after the identity. The universe doesn't deliver what you want, it delivers who you are. I remember how I imagined the places where I would give lectures, the auditoriums, the sound of the microphone, even the suit. And I acted as if it were real. I studied as if I were being paid for it, walked as if I were being heard by multitudes, sat as if I were building a global empire. It may seem exaggerated, but that's the difference. Those who create new realities act from the end, not the middle. Those who wait only accumulate frustration and justifications. Many people are frustrated, even if they are hardworking. They work to arrive, never as if they've already arrived. This is noticeable in small things: tone of voice, firmness of decisions, how they enter a room, how they handle challenges. Someone who thinks from the end doesn't panic, doesn't chase, knows they're in the right place, even when no one else sees it. It's like building a house. You don't start stacking bricks without a blueprint. You start with the final image. The architect sees the finished house before a single brick is laid. The builders follow a vision already decided. Why should your life be any different? Do you live with the blueprint ready, or try to assemble the structure as the bricks appear? If you want to change, stop trying to convince others, to explain why you deserve more. Become that new you and live from it. Yes, they'll laugh, call you arrogant, crazy, a dreamer, but later they'll call you a visionary and want to know how you did it. And you'll remember this moment. It all started the day you stopped walking toward the goal and started walking from it, as if you'd already arrived, as if you already are. There's a law that governs everything, physically and mentally, the law of least effort. It's present from the movement of planets to the growth of plants. Everything that is natural and powerful happens with fluidity, intelligence, without unnecessary resistance. But humans, in their eagerness to win, choose struggle, tension, brute force. The result? Fatigue, frustration, and repetition of what they already live. Have you ever seen a tree trying to grow in a hurry? A river climbing a mountain against its natural course? It's ridiculous. But that's what most people do. They fight against their own flow, force situations, beg for validation, work themselves to exhaustion, but don't change how they feel. They vibrate scarcity, even while striving to prosper. Here comes one of the biggest secrets I've learned: assuming the desired state is the shortest path between who you are today and who you want to be. Assume. Just assume. It's not believing with effort, repeating affirmations until you're out of breath. It's internally accepting that it's already real. Accepting with such tranquility that your body relaxes, your mind slows down, your breathing returns to its natural rhythm. It's acting in accordance with the law of least effort. You don't need to convince anyone, not even yourself. Simply live the state, effortlessly, as if it were already so. Because, in fact, it already is. You may be thinking, but how? I'll just assume and that's it. Yes. Every time you assume with conviction, not with desperation, but with quiet conviction, you activate a part of the brain that aligns with the new reality. You stop vibrating lack and start vibrating abundance. The universe responds to this. It doesn't react to your hurry, it responds to your frequency. I learned this while studying the law of assumption. At first, my intellect resisted. Bob, you need to be realistic, you need to see to believe. But I realized the opposite, you need to believe to see. It became clear at a specific moment. It was an ordinary day, I was alone in my office. I took a piece of paper and wrote down exactly how I wanted to live. Details. Everything. How much I wanted to earn, what my house would be like, what I would hear from people, how I would feel when I woke up. When I finished, instead of thinking, one day this will happen, I closed my eyes, breathed, and felt it as true. I assumed. A peace washed over me, not fleeting euphoria, but a silent certainty. Something said, it already is. It's already done. And so, things began to manifest. Not magically, but precisely. People started to appear, invitations emerged, opportunities fell into place. All because I stopped acting like someone who needs to conquer and started acting like someone who already was. If you're feeling tired, frustrated, exhausted from chasing a better life, you may be using too much force where you should be using direction. You don't need more struggle, you need more clarity. Ask yourself, if I already had what I want, how would I feel right now? How would I be breathing, walking, communicating? Feel it, not as a mechanical exercise, but as an emotional decision. Feel it lightly, assume without anxiety, and then act with tranquility. Have you noticed how the best decisions were those made in peace? Without pressure, fear, without trying to prove anything to anyone. That's how reality transforms. You don't need to chase anything, you just need to internally align with what you desire. Unlocking your potential isn't about wishing on a star, it's about aligning your inner world with your outer desires. For years, I played a role, contorting myself to fit in, silencing my true self to avoid ridicule. The result? A hollow existence, a life lived for others, a soul starved of authenticity. The truth is, chasing approval is a cage, gilded, perhaps, but still a cage. It stifles creativity, leaving you a mere echo of societal expectations, a puppet dancing to the tune of others. How many times have you abandoned your dreams, fearing judgment? How often have you choked back your ambitions, silenced by that insidious whisper, "Who do you think you are?" That voice is your jailer. Many spend a lifetime in the comfortable, decorated prison. Remember the first time you boldly refused something unwanted, without apology? A woman asked me to dance, I simply said, "No, thank you. I don't want to dance." Her surprise was nothing compared to the surge of freedom I felt. That's the power of authenticity. It's a different frequency, a resonance with your true self. When you live in alignment with your desires, not others' expectations, the right opportunities appear, the right people gravitate towards you, the right ideas blossom. Trying to please everyone attracts what pleases them, not what fulfills you. Authenticity is the most potent seed you can plant in the fertile ground of your mind. It demands courage. Not everyone will admire your bloom, some will sneer, some will try to pull you back to the mediocrity of the familiar. But watch what happens. Those who laughed initially begin to question their own paths, often silently admiring your bravery. The courage to be yourself is magnetic, it inspires, attracts, unlocks doors that fostered never could. Here's a shock, the people you're bending over backward to please. They are often too preoccupied with their own insecurities to truly care about you. So, will you continue to mold yourself to fickle opinions, or will you live your truth, head held high, even if it means walking alone initially? Internal conflict is a breeding ground for anxiety, wanting one thing, living another, smiling while your heart weeps. This incongruence disrupts your energy flow. There's no manifestation without congruence, no aligning of thought, feeling, and action until you relinquish the need for approval. Look in the mirror and say, "This is me. This is what I want." And it's okay if nobody understands. That's where true power resides. You become a creator, a source, an unwavering truth. Are you willing to pay the price of being yourself? Because the price of pleasing everyone is losing yourself, the highest price imaginable. Let me tell you something crucial, you don't wait for money, opportunities, or luck, your desires wait for *U* to become compatible with them. This isn't some new age mumbo-jumbo, it's science, energy, universal law. People treat destiny like a lottery win, a sudden windfall. But your destiny is already there, inaccessible to your current self. You don't attract what you want, you attract what you are star. If you're waiting for things to change before you change how you think, feel, and act, you've inverted the universe. Don't wait for the mirror to smile, smile first, and the mirror will respond. Want more money but act like someone counting pennies, feeling guilty about investing in yourself? You're broadcasting scarcity. Your habits, decisions, and emotions speak louder than words. I spoke to an entrepreneur who wanted to earn $5 million a year. He had a business, great ideas, resources, yet he always hit a snag. When I asked how he felt imagining that income, he confessed, "I feel like an imposter." That was his roadblock, not the market. He didn't see himself as deserving of his goals. He was trying to make a financial leap without first making an identity leap. Most people do this, they want a grander destiny with the same small mindset, abundance with the same fears, freedom while clinging to control. Your next level won't recognize you if you remain the same. You must consciously create a new identity, not force it, but embrace it. Ask yourself, how does the version of me who's already achieved everything I desire live? How do they wake up? How do they speak? How do they solve problems? Answer with such clarity that, when you're done, there's no doubt who you'll be from now on. Don't wait for external transformation, change starts within, the world merely responds. It's like programming a GPS, the route only reveals itself once the destination is set. Your destiny isn't a physical place, it's a state of being. Acting as if you've arrived distances you from the reality of already being there. Studies show that immediately adopting the behaviors of your desired identity even before results increases your chances of success by 70%. It's vibrational compatibility. You don't need to transform, you need to remember who you are. That confident, bold, superior version already exists, buried under years of conditioning. Unearth it, not through force, but intention. Say, enough. From now on, I act as if I've already arrived. It might feel strange, even uncomfortable, that's the sign you're escaping the gravitational pull of your old self. Sustain this new frequency long enough, and the universe responds. People solve external problems while ignoring the internal source. They change jobs, relationships, cities, even countries, yet the same cycles repeat. They are trying to fix a broken mirror without realizing their own face is cracked. The problem is never external, it's the internal pattern you repeat. Your life is a direct reflection of your state of consciousness. Until that changes, the scenery may shift, but the content remains the same. Why do people read self-help books, take courses, attend seminars, yet stay stuck? Because they haven't changed their vibrational pattern, they've just swapped information while operating from the same fear, doubt, and self-sabotage. Your mind has a dominant point of attraction that determines what it allows into your reality. This point shifts when you adopt a new emotional baseline. If your baseline is anxiety, everything will be filtered through that lens. Break the cycle not by changing the world, but by changing what you tolerate feeling daily. Most people wake up worried, before even leaving bed, they anticipate everything that could go wrong. If your first emotion is fear, how do you expect to create something grand? Feeling is creating. What you feel consistently, you manifest precisely. My most transformative moments weren't about doing, but about deeply feeling what I desired. I sat alone and asked, what if everything I want were true right now? For a few minutes, I let my body believe it, felt it, and something shifted, not in the world, but within me. That state gradually rewrote my reality. Science confirms this, your heart's emotional state alters how your brain processes the world. Changing your feelings literally changes your perception, decisions, and ultimately, results. You don't need more tools, you need more emotional presence. Observe yourself, feel what resonates, and shift the center from which you create your life. It requires initial awareness, but then it becomes natural, like training a muscle. For the next 3 days, don't make significant decisions from fear, anger, or doubt. Wait, breathe, center yourself, then choose. This practice can reprogram your creative field. Reality responds not to what you think, but to the emotion that underpins your life. What will your emotional baseline be from now on? Anxiety and fear, or peace, clarity, and certainty, even if the world hasn't changed yet? The world changes the moment you change internally. Your external reality will never surpass the internal state you choose to sustain. When you shift your emotional center, you change what you attract, how you respond, and what you create. If this resonated, you're ready for the next step. The next video will delve deeper, showing how to apply this power practically. I'll see you there, ready to be at least 1% better than you are now. Let's move forward.